We now head to the penultimate race before the lunch break, and this time DD2 heads out onto the circuit. So your grid is as follows. Starting on pole position will be the number 433 of Florian Breidenbach. Alongside, in second position, will be the 488 of Marc Bartels. Row 2 is the 444 of Janos Stier and the 420 of Jonas Volscheid. Yannick Jacobs in the 411 and Niklas Krens in the 431 complete the top 3 rows, with Oliver Breidenbach in the 422 in 7th, ahead of Hannes Bode in the 468. Max Fleischmann in the 407 and Dennis Thiem in the 404 complete the top 10. Rounding out the 13-strong grid will be the 494 of Marco Göttler, the 499 of Ronny Göttler and the 409 of Tim Stender. So the drivers now get themselves primed and ready for 14 minutes plus 1 additional lap of racing. Their penultimate race of the season. So they press the accelerators to the floor, lights out, and they are off and racing. As it's nearly 3 abreast through turn 1. Janos Stier gets collected, and also one of the other drivers towards the outside of turn number 1. Niklas Krens looks to maybe have some troubles. That could be Martin Bartels, I think, that has also had dramas. So those two at the back part of the field. But Janos Stier keeping pace with the field up front. So at the moment, looks like Yannick Jacobs, I believe, has gotten up into second position behind Florian Breidenbach. The drivers now make their way through to quickly complete lap number 1. So at the moment, Florian Breidenbach leads this time from Yannick Jacobs. Oliver Breidenbach now has gotten up into third place. Hannes Bode in 4th, Dennis Thiem in 5th. Marco Göttler and Ronny Göttler round out the top 7 positions ahead of Tim Stender. Jonas Volscheid in 9th ahead of Janos Stier. Niklas Krens now down in 11th position. Marc Bartels and Max Fleischmann round out the 13 strong. As Yannick Jacobs trying to pressurise Florian Breidenbach for the lead of the race in the early goings, as we are fast approaching the completion of lap number 2, and with the top 7 very closely packed. They come across the line once again. Gap between Florian Breidenbach and Yannick Jacobs drops to just over 1/10 of a second. And Ronny Göttler, down in 7th position, takes the fastest lap of the race after the completion of lap 2 with the 46.096. Jonas Volscheid and Janos Stier have both got past Tim Stender, who has Niklas Krens in 11th, closing on the back bumper of the 409. But at the moment, Krens has got some work to do. The leaders make their way through into the double right-hander as Jacobs looks to go up the inside and gets past through Florian Breidenbach, and then Oliver Breidenbach tries to get the switch back through the penultimate left-hander, but that does not quite work out. Top 5 covered by just over 0.8 of a second from front to rear bumper. And then you look a little bit further behind, that Marco Göttler and Ronny Göttler rounding out the top 7. They are covered by just over 1.3 seconds. As a bit of a moment there for Tim Stender, going through into the approach on the chicane. But now Florian Breidenbach trying to fight back, and as Oliver just behind. So the drivers now making their way through. Looks like Ronny Göttler has got past Marco Göttler for 6th place, and Marco Göttler has Jonas Volscheid just behind. gap between the top two was just over 0.3 of a second last time around. Niklas Krens, in the meantime, has set the fastest lap of the race of 45.911. Bartel's now up into 11th position. After that moment earlier on in the race, where drivers were compromised, Janis Stier trying to close up on Jonas Volscheid, but the gap is nearly 2 seconds between the pair as the drivers come across the line to complete lap number 5. So Yannick Jacobs continues to lead the way. Florian Breitenbach still in second. Oliver Breitenbach being closed in on by Hannes Border for third. Dennis Thiem now has Ronnie Göttler closing towards the hairpin at the far side of the circuit. And Ronnie Göttler decides not to go for it just quite yet. Might have another lap or two before the opportunity presents itself. With Jonas Volscheid now having got past Marco Göttler. And the pair of Janis Stier and Niklas Krens, who round out the top 10, starting to move forward. And Janis Stier last time around was over 0.4 quicker than Marco Göttler. Göttler responds and goes slightly quicker than the 444 from Nies Racing. But the two leaders trying to keep out in front, as there's been a 5-second penalty given to Yannick Jacobs, who leads the race for pushing, as decided by race control, as Jonas Volscheid has now managed to get past Dennis Thiem, and that is effectively for what is 6th position on the road. So Ronnie Göttler now up into 5th place. Yannick Jacobs leads Florian Breitenbach by just over 0.2, but Florian Breitenbach, who convincingly made sure that it was a good day behind the wheel, is looking to get another victory. So all 13 drivers still circulating, as now Florian Breitenbach has now retaken the lead on the conclusion of lap number 8 from Yannick Jacobs. Oliver Breitenbach rounds out the top 3. Hannes Border, Ronnie Göttler, Jonas Volscheid, Dennis Thiem, Marco Göttler. Niklas Krens and Janis Stier complete the top 10, so Krens has got another second to find to try and get past the 494 of Marco Göttler, but Krens looks to have a lot of pace in the 431. Janis Stier had a good turn of pace in qualification, but unfortunately the pair now having to fight back. Seven minutes still to go. We're halfway through the race at the minute. And now Florian Breitenbach has got a lead of just over half a second in front of Yannick Jacobs, who will have 5 seconds added post-race for a pushing penalty. Jacobs is just under 1.5 seconds behind, just in front of Oliver Breitenbach. Hannes Border and Ronnie Göttler ran out the top 5, and 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment are currently separated by just under 7.5 of a second, as Niklas Krens has caught up to the back bumper of Marco Göttler, and Dennis Thiem just up ahead. So the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th is being led by Oliver Breitenbach. Hannes Border in the 468 in 4th. Ronnie Göttler trying to close, and the gap between them is just under 1/4 of a second. But Göttler closing on the back bumper of Border once again through the chicane, looking to get the run of momentum through down towards the hairpin. Will Göttler go for it? He does, up the inside, nice and cleanly done on the 468 of Hannes Border. And now they have to try and push and try and get past Oliver Breitenbach. Jonas Volscheid in the 420, as there's a little bit of a tussle behind Niklas Keynes. Gets up the inside of Marco Göttler, who runs wide. That allows Dennis Thiem to get past, but then Marco Göttler goes back up the inside of the 404. There was a little bit of contact, I think, between them. So Keynes managed to get through. Puts him up to 7th place. And with just over 5 minutes remaining, there's plenty of time for Niklas Keynes in the 431 to close on the 420 of Jonas Volscheid. But Dennis Thiem is now behind Marco Göttler. But Niklas Keynes absolutely moving forward at a brilliant pace. The 431 now has a gap of 1.9 seconds to find to close up on Jonas Volscheid. We have just over 4 minutes and 10 seconds plus an additional lap still remaining. And at the moment, Florian Breitenbach has nearly a 9/10 of a second advantage over Yannick Jacobs, who will, by my count, probably drop out of the top seven with the 5-second post-race penalty. So the leader now comes through the chicane, but it's getting ever closer. Because now the likes of Mark Bartels, who's closing on the back bumper of Janos Stier, those two are 11th and 10th respectively. They are closing on Dennis Thiem and Marco Göttler. That is for 8th and 9th. So the drivers really pushing. Temperatures still rather cold as now. Up the inside of Janos Stier goes Mark Bartels. And that was through the last right-hander on the circuit. Up into 10th goes the 488. So these two have been pushing hard. Janos Stier gets a little bit sideways coming out of the left-hander at turn 2, but still keeps the foot planted to the floor, manages to correct the steering as they now go through the chicane. There's now Ronny Göttler closing on Oliver Breitenbach for 3rd place. The 499 of Ronny Göttler. Last time around, did a 46.128 second lap time and was nearly 2/10 quicker than Oliver Breitenbach. But Breitenbach responds. The gap between the pair was just under 3/10 of a second. And Dennis Thiem still trying to keep in touching distance. But Göttler, Ronny Göttler in 4th place, looking to close up once again on Oliver Breitenbach as they make their way towards the far part of the circuit with just under 2 minutes remaining on the clock. So another chance for Ronny Göttler. There is still time. There's still an opportunity that will present itself, and Ronny Göttler looks to close up on every single braking zone on Oliver Breitenbach. As they come around the final corner, it was just over 0.28 seconds. It's now been sliced into by just over a 10th as Ronny Göttler puts in a 46.132. Florian Breitenbach leads and has the fastest lap of the race on lap number 9, which is a 45.690, as Göttler still pressurising. Not close enough to really use the slipstream down the back part of the circuit. So just under 60 seconds to go. The battle for 3rd place well and truly on. As Göttler still trying to keep pace. And the pair literally running in the 46.4s. with Oliver Breidenbach running a little bit quicker by about 20 thousandths or so on that last lap. So Göttler fast running out of time. So Honey Göttler could have possibly another 2 opportunities to really 2 laps to close in on. Maybe even make that 3 depending on how soon Florian Breidenbach crosses the line and crosses it with 11 seconds on the clock remaining. So it will be this plus another couple of laps. So Honey Göttler really needs to carry the momentum through every single corner, every single braking point, powering out at the right time, not leaving any squandered opportunity to chance. Through the chicane, a different line taken by Göttler in comparison with Oliver Breidenbach. As that time around, Honey Göttler was very, very close to the back bumper of Oliver Breidenbach. And at the end of the day, it is dependent on who is going to put the cart in the right place at the right time. At the moment, it is Oliver Breidenbach. As now, there's been another change as Mark Bartels gets past Marco Göttler for what his 7th position. Looks like Niklas Keynes has decided to park the kart as we go on to the final lap of the race, with Oliver Breidenbach having nearly a 3.3 second lead over Yannick Jacobs, who in turn has 2.6 second advantage over the driver behind Oliver Breidenbach, with Honey Göttler still trying to do the best to try and get past, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Hannes Border has been closing in the meantime, as the leaders now make their way through towards the double right-hander for the final time. On this particular occasion, it has been another commanding performance from the 433 of Florian Breidenbach, who will take the checkered flag. But Göttler running out of corners, running out of time. Jacobs takes 2nd on the road, and Oliver Breidenbach takes 3rd place, ahead of Honey Göttler by just under 0.3 of a second at the flag. Hannes Border rounds out the top 5 positions ahead of Jonas Volscheid. Mark Bartels in the 488 managed to get past Marco Göttler for 7th in the dying stages of the race, with Dennis Thiem and Jana Stier in the 404 and the 444 respectively completing the top 10. Max Fleischmann will finish in 12th as we wait for Tim Stender, who now comes around the final corner and takes the checkered flag in 11th, with Niklas Keynes unfortunately retiring on lap number 17 of the race.